Hi team, greetings everyone. In our previous session, we saw different types of NLPs that is present in the web automation. So here if you can see, we were exploring the different NLPs using this registration script. Now we want to run this particular script and we want to see the execution. Before running this particular script, I wanted to teach you an important topic which is called as if failed checkpoints. So what is this if failed checkpoints you're talking about if you're asking that? So here for each and every step we will be having that if failed checkpoints. Now let me just click on the first step. So I'm getting this pop-up over here, and here if you can see we have this option called as if failed, and here we have an option called as mark this step as failed and continue the script execution. And if you notice it's a drop down. Once I click on the drop down, I'm getting multiple options. So here, what is this if failed? And we call this as if failed checkpoints. And what is this options are for? When means which option we have to use, when we have to use. All those things we have to discuss in detail in this session. So this is an important concept with respect to the execution flow. Now I'll just cancel this. So now let us discuss about if failed checkpoints. What is this if failed checkpoints? So it is used to control the flow of execution. Okay. Now why we need this? To save the time during the execution. So obviously we are moving into automation from manual for what purpose? To save time, right? So here using this if fail checkpoints, we can even more save time in the automation part. Okay. Now let us consider automation script, and which is having around 5 steps. Now let us consider each step is taking 1 second for execution. This is just an assumption. I'm just saying each step is taking for 1 second for execution. So now what will be the total execution time of the script? 5 seconds, correct? Because each step is taking 1 second for execution, totally 5 steps are there. So the total execution time of the automation script is 5 seconds. Now we got this scenario, right? Let me move. So in the same script, I'm running the same script, but my first step is getting failed, which is nothing but open browser. When open browser is failing, navigate to URL, will it pass? Not possible, because there is no browser. Without browser, where it will be navigating to the particular URL. So here we need to control the execution flow. Am I correct? Because when the open browser is failing, it should not execute the second step. If it is continuing the execution of the second step, don't you think it's a waste of time? Because browser only is not open, then what is the point of executing this navigate to URL? So 1 more second is wasted. So how to control this flow? Using if fail checkpoints. We can control this flow using the if fail checkpoint. If a particular step is getting failed, what should be done? That can be customized using if fail checkpoints. And in if fail checkpoints, how we are going to do that? We have 5 different options. One is mark this step as fail and continue script execution. Mark the step as warning and continue the script execution. Next option is mark this step as failed and stop the script execution. So next option is mark this step as failed and stop current module execution. And the final option is mark this step as failed and stop the complete execution. Let us explore one by one. So the first one is mark the step as failed and continue the script execution. So here, even though the step is failing, I want to continue the script execution. That is the meaning of this particular checkpoint. Now let me take the same script. My first step is getting failed. What will happen? My first step will get the status of failed because I am saying mark the step as failed. Now what happens? I am saying continue the script execution. So what it will do? It will try to execute the navigate to URL. So now what it will do? It will try to execute navigate to URL. It will again get failed, right? Because that particular open browser is not working. Obviously, navigate to URL also will fail. So what will be the status? Failed. Here also I am giving the same if fail checkpoint. Mark this step as fail and continue the script execution. What is going to happen? It is going to continue the script execution. My third step will fail, and my fourth step will fail, and my fifth step will be failing. So all the steps will be failing, and when I will be getting the execution result? After 5 seconds, because we already discussed, right? Let us assume each and every step is taking 1 second for execution. So what is the execution time? 5 seconds. After 5 seconds, I am getting the failed status. Now, if I would have stopped the execution in the first step only, I would have got the result in first step only, right? So within 1 second, I can get the result. But instead of that, I'm getting result after 5 seconds. Then when do we use this particular if else checkpoint? Then what is the purpose of giving this? So you can use this if else checkpoint when that particular step is optional. So whether it is means that particular step is not going to affect your scenario. If it is happening also, it is not going to affect your scenario. If it is not happening also, it is not going to affect your scenario. So those particular steps, you can give this particular checkpoint, which is nothing but mark the step as failed and continue the script execution, since it is optional. It is not going to affect your scenario. So those kind of steps, what if else checkpoints you can give, mark the step as failed and continue the script execution. Now let us move to the next. So mark this step as warning and continue the script execution. So let us take the same execution, means same script. So my first step is failing. What will happen? The status will be given as warning. Why? Because I have specified as mark this step as warning, not failed, and continue the script execution. Now what it is going to do? It is going to continue the execution, since I have mentioned continue script execution. So my navigate to URL will execute again, it will fail. Once it is failing, what will happen? It will give the warning status. So warning status will be given. My third step will fail, warning status will be given. My fourth step will fail, warning status will be given. My fifth step will fail and warning status will be given. So finally I'll be getting the warning status after 5 seconds. So here also we are just continuing the script execution. We are not stopping the script execution. So here also we are getting the result after 5 seconds. We are not getting the immediate result. So when do we use this kind of if else checkpoint? So here you want to continue the execution, but you don't want to see the failed status, because when you see failed status you will feel like the step is failing due to some other reason, correct? In that case you want to make it as warning so that you can easily understand it's a optional step. So you can use this particular if else checkpoint if the particular step is optional and you don't want to see the failed status. Okay, now let us move to the next one, which is nothing but mark the step as fail and stop the script execution. So when you give this particular checkpoint for all the scripts, means for all the steps inside the script. So let us take this particular script. My first step is getting failed. And here, what is the checkpoint? It is stop execution. So once my first step is getting failed, the status will be given as failed. And is it going to continue the execution? No. I said stop the execution. So what it will do, it will not execute my navigate to URL. It will skip it. Next step, skipped. Next step, skipped. Next step, skipped. So it is not going to execute them. So it will skip all the other steps. Why? Because I told stop the script execution if the particular step is getting failed. So here what I will get? I will get the failed status within 1 second. Why? Because only my first step is getting executed. All other steps are getting skipped. So here, don't you think I'm getting the failed status faster than before? So here, this particular failed status means this particular if else checkpoint can be given when that particular step is very important. Without that particular step, the next step cannot execute. So those kind of steps you can give, mark the step as fail and stop the script execution. So when the particular step is important and cannot forward, means cannot proceed forward without it. In those situations, we can use mark the step as failed and stop the script execution. Now we will see the next one. So we have still two pending, correct? So those we will understand once we see the module level execution. So as of now, we have seen only script level execution. So what we will do, we will learn module level execution and then we will explore the other two options. As of now, I'll just move to the platform. So now, since we know about the if else checkpoint, we are going to give the if else checkpoints for each and every step here. So my first step, let me click on it. So it is saying if failed, mark the step as failed and continue script execution. This is open browser. My open browser is failing. In that case, can I continue the script execution? No. What I will say, mark the step as fail and stop the script execution, because open browser is not passing, in the sense maximize browser is not going to work. So I'll give this particular checkpoint and click on update. Now for maximize browser, I'll just click on it. So here also without maximizing browser, I don't want to continue. So I'll give the same if else checkpoint, click on update. So without navigating to the URL, I cannot verify whether the welcome page is displayed or not. So here also mark the step as fail and stop the script execution if this particular step is failing. Update. So here in my entire script, all the steps are very important. I cannot skip any of the step here. So what I am going to do, the same if else checkpoint for all the steps. So I'll just give verify. So here I'll just say mark this step as fail and stop the script execution. Click on login button. Mark this step as fail and stop the script execution. Update. and here sixth step. So here I am just going to give the same. So since I am going to means since all the elements, all the steps here in the script are very important, I will be giving the same if else checkpoint for all the steps here. I have given all the if else checkpoint for all the steps. So here, in order to give it for the last step, close browser, right? I'll just click on it. See here, I have mentioned it as mark the step as failed and stop the script execution. Do you think this is required? Because when I say mark the step as failed and stop the script execution, is there any other step to continue the script execution for the last step I'm saying? So once you decide this is the last step of that particular script, you can maintain the same if you want. Mark the step as failed and continue the script execution. So this is not going to affect your execution flow. Why? Because this is not going to continue since there is no steps to continue. So here, if you want, you can give it as mark the step as well and continue the script execution. Here, no need to specify it as stop the script execution since it's the last step. I'll just click on update. Now I have given all the if else checkpoint for all the particular steps. So for each and every step, I have given the if else checkpoint as mark the step as failed and stop the script execution. Which means whenever a step inside this particular script is failing, what will happen? It will stop the script execution then and there, and it is not going to execute the other steps. It is going to skip all the other steps and it is going to give us the immediate result. So in today's session, we have learned the important concept called as if else checkpoint. We will see the execution in the next session. Thank you.